All right, we got Mini Scout versus Unlucky Spotify, Corn versus Skaven. I was kind of done with this patch. I didn't want to cast any more stuff on this patch, and then we learned that we have 2 more weeks before the next patch comes out, so I got to make some content. But when I saw both players submitted this replay from their sides, I knew it must be a good one if both sides thought it was pretty good. So let's see what this is about. I actually have no idea who wins, because like I said, both players sent me a version of this. So for Corn and Skaven, Corn is sending Chaos Furies in, and I really don't like this usage of Furies. While they continue to advance, I'll mention this. Do not use Furies this way. I have a video series I'm going to make soon called Top 3 Mistakes of Blank Faction, and for all the demonic factions, I'm going to have to say the same thing. Throwing your Furies in before your front line is even here is a disastrous mistake. Because imagine if this charge was happening when the front line for Corn is already here, right? That would be so much more effective. So please, if you have Chaos Furies, don't do this. Don't throw them out crazy far ahead of the rest of your units. Wait for them to get here. And Corn is actually having a lot of problems. I know I didn't mention the builds much, so I'm going to pause because there's some tactical things I want to talk about. But for the builds, Skaven have Clanrat frontline, mostly spears. We have 3 Poisonwind Globes, 2 Rattling Gunners, 1 Warplock Jezzail, then Rat Ogres, and a Grey Seer with some Doom Flayers on the side. For Corn, we have Scarbrand the Exiled with just his Rampage, Minotaur of Corn, Gorby's Chariot of Corn, 4 Chaos Warriors with Halberds, and 2 Chaos Warhounds of Corn. So what I wanted to say is this advance is a disaster. Sending the Chaos Furies in super early, and then they all die. Don't do that. And now we have Minotaurs hitting before the infantry are here. Chariots also hitting before the infantry are here. So it's like Corn is just filing in one after the other, after the other, after the other. And it is not going well. So now Rattling Guns are free firing on the Gorby's Chariots. Now, thankfully, they're Rattling Gunners and not a good unit, so they're not really going to do that much damage to these guys because they can't see them or they shoot above them, which is great. We also had Chaos Warhounds of Corn dive in, and they dive out. Scarbrand is in here, and Minotaurs are now fighting on top of enemy spears and Rat Ogres without any support of their own. Also, Chaos Warriors of Corn versus Skaven is a little interesting because you know they're going to have Poisonwind Globes that can kill a lot of your guys. So, I don't love that. Scarbrand finally gets Rampage out onto multiple ranged units, drawing them all into his web. He's fighting on top of some Chaos Warhounds of Corn. Those guys are going to rout soon, and Scarbrand himself is all alone. There's no Sword of Corn yet, and Corn is very far behind. I am now concerned that I will have to scrap this replay, and I will have wasted a couple minutes, but we'll see. Both players submitted it, so I got to have faith that it somehow turns around, but so far it looks like Corn is just getting slapped. Chaos Warriors get a Dreaded 13th summon on them, does a little bit of damage. The Poisonwind Globes are trying to get away to safety. We have Jezzail's back, who are constantly poking down Scarbrand a little bit, and Scarbrand himself is just trying to get somewhere and do something, though Doom Flayers and Spears are holding him in place for now, so he is trying to path out. Very low balance of power for the forces of Corn. Rattling Guns have rallied in the distance. They're shooting at Scarbrand. A lot of those missiles are going wide because they're firing at the maximum part of their range, so they really won't hit that much. And Scarbrand is getting shot after shot on the Grey Seer. And his Stormvermin Halberds are pathing away. The Stormvermin Halberds have to come back and protect him. It looks like they are now, so that is going to be good. But they probably should have been there to help out the Grey Seer from the start. He's using another summon in this area as globes light up their own troops, but Clanrat Spears for Chaos Warriors with Halberds is a pretty good trade. Scarbrand's taking a lot of damage and gets distracted from the Grey Seer, so he's going to go fight random things as Minotaurs continue to grind through Rat Ogres, but they're getting pretty low. I have a Kitty Cat here. Hello, Kitty Cat. So I guess I am casting one-handed now, as you get your scritches that you so deserve. So the Chaos Warriors are getting lit up by those Poisonwind Globes. We still have Rattling Gunners nearby, now firing at Minotaurs surrounded by Doom Flayers. And they're doing a significant amount of friendly fire. Okay, I know some of that damage is from the Halberds and the Minotaurs. I'm not an idiot, but I also saw a lot of bullets connecting with these guys. So, that's unfortunate. Scarbrand rampages the Grey Seer back into him so that he can't run away. Scarbrand's getting good damage out. Does have Frenzy, none of his other items. He's currently kicking the crap out of the Grey Seer. And the Skaven need to be very worried because whenever they lose their Lord, they tend to lose games just due to having too low of leadership after their Lord is gone. Scarbrand is very low. Corn is low on the balance of power, but they still have some forces left here, even though we have Minotaurs currently getting poked down by Clanrat Spears. We do have some Chaos Warriors Halberds ready to fight it out at the end. And Scarbrand ain't giving up for nothing. Nice scorch up for the Grey Seer onto the Chaos Warriors Halberds. A little bit of damage, and the Overcast didn't apply, so it didn't actually hurt him. And Scarbrand really needs to finish off that Grey Seer, but now he's going to get side shot by Rattling Guns. And they have 175 value after firing a lot this game. Let's see. These guys were firing forever. Ooh, they've almost paid for themselves. That's exciting. He is suppressed, slowed down slightly by the rattling guns, but they have negligible damage now that they're down to 12 out of 32 models. So they're going to have a harder time actually killing Scarbrand. They'll get a couple good pokes off here and there, a couple hundred damage off from every volley. That is quite nice. Good job, rattling guns. And the Grey Seer is getting walked off the map. Not that close to the white line. Scarbrand's really trying to catch up to him so we can kill that Grey Seer and get the extra leadership debuff, as we do have 3 Chaos Warriors of Khorne with halberds to support Scarbrand in the late game, but there are still some globes killing off those guys. Easy peasy. Khorne is making a bit of a comeback on the balance of power as Rat Ogres have to charge straight into Chaos Warriors with halberds. That should be a good fight for the halberds, even though they're a diminished force. They should still have the resiliency to deal with the Rat Ogres. And there we go. The Grey Seer is dead, causing the rattling guns and the Warplock Jezzails to just rout of their own volition. Khorne has gotten about 600 kills, so I wonder if they have a Sword of Khorne and if it's even worth Sword of Khorning, though you might want to get rid of some of these Clan Rat Spears, I suppose. Scarbrand is pretty much alone. We have 1 Chaos Warrior with halberds left, but with a Poison Globadier that exists, I mean, that guy's days are numbered. Unless you run directly away from the Poison Globes with it and just have Scarbrand sprint over here and kill them off, then these guys could be support. Oh, no, dude, don't just run him straight into the globes, bro! Scarbrand rampages these Rat Ogres and Spears into himself, but unfortunate allocation of resources, throwing Scarbrand into Spears and Monstrous Infantry while you throw halberds into Poison Globes. That is the exact opposite order of events. You really wanted the halberds to take the melee fight after you clear out the globes. So the globes are going to take out Scarbrand's last support. Game is pulling away from Khorne yet again, though I said that in the early game and they pulled it back, so maybe Scarbrand could put on a clinic. We have 1 Rat Ogre with less than half HP. Then we have some Clan Rats. If Khorne has a Sword of Khorne combo left, a Scarbrand's Rampage Sword of Khorne, if you can get both of these healthy-ish Clan Rat Spears in the late game and just Sword of Khorne them, like, that's a lot of damage. Could turn this game around in an instant. Chaos Warriors still taking big damage. They have good leadership. These are Chaos Warriors of Khorne, after all. No cowardly Skaven slaves. And Scarbrand does finally get to the Poison Globe. Is that my dog? What are you doing back there, dog? Whatever. Routes off Poison Globes, so now officially the Chaos Warriors can fight in melee as they want to. Scarbrand is still getting rear charged by Rat Ogres as he attempts to kick around more Poison Globes. Rat Ogres get a couple little shots onto him, and in come those halberds with Doom Flayers rear charging though. Can the halberds hold leadership wise? Actually, it looks like no, you freaking cowards. How dare you? All right, they're routing. I guess that's fine. Doom Flayer shattered. Rat Ogres terror out next to the white line. Maybe they'll go off of their own volition. Maybe. We'll see as more Clan Rats come in. If you have a Sword of Khorne, now is the time to pop that Rampage and get rid of those guys as Poison Globes are back. Meaning Chaos Warriors are probably going to have a hard time returning. Ooh, yeah, and some Clan Rat Spears are even being dedicated to keeping them off. In the distance, we have some more halberds, but they're going to run straight into globes and die. As other globes throw, that's going to be some friendly fire. Little bit of friendly fire there as Scarbrand charges back into them to get rid of them once and for all. Leadership is low next to the white line. Can Scarbrand's terror save the day? We will see, but yeah, all the Chaos Warriors are routing, and now Scarbrand is looking for a better fight. He is trying to just path away right now. Stay out of range of these guys, and he turns around, decides to charge back in. Down to 1500 HP, getting very, very low on HP. He is slapping some Rat Ogres, needs to get rid of them. Almost has Terror out on the Clan Rats, down to 19 leadership. Rat Ogres low on leadership, but they're immune to Terror for a little bit since they just Terror out a second ago. Scarbrand's lost about 400 HP. I haven't seen a Sword of Khorne yet, so I'm imagining he doesn't have it. Ooh, yeah, if he's using the Tier 2 armor ability, he definitely doesn't have the Sword of Khorne. He's backing out to Cycle Charge yet again, though the Rat Ogres are on his ass, and I just don't think Scarbrand can do it. Army losses is taking hold, so as soon as this Unbreakable wears off, he is just going to die from crumbling. Scarbrand's not enough to carry it. Yeah, I didn't like the order of the advance there from Unlucky Spotify. You just can't send in your Furies to die instantaneously like that. And then, like, Minotaurs and the Gorby's Chariot advanced without their infantry, and the infantry came later. They just had to slow it down a lot. Which, like, it sucks to take range damage, but sometimes you have to. Scarbrand tried to solo carry, and he honestly almost did. It was a crazy close game. Rattling guns did okay. I think considering how much Mini Scout got them to shoot, they should have done better than okay, but maybe I'm just a hater. I think rattling guns are generally pretty bad. Useful in some matchups, but pretty bad overall. Doom Flayers and Rat Ogres did their best to hold back the tides. So, GG's in the end. A little scared at the start, but it worked out.
Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.